These artisans are truly remarkable. In a humble, rustic workshop, they've managed to craft something extraordinary. What usually requires a $1 million production line, they achieve by hand. In advanced industrial hubs, such intricate gears demand state-of-the-art machinery. Countless complex processes are involved. Yet here, with ingenuity and skill, and melted scrap metal, they make magic happen. Using hand-formed sand molds and pouring techniques, they honor the tradition of make it if you can't buy it. Armed with brilliant techniques and sturdy sandals, there seems to be nothing they won't dare to create. Their craftsmanship is awe-inspiring. To kick off production, the master digs a 3-meter-long pit in the ground. He layers the pit with sand, then carefully places a gear template on top. Pressing the template, he imprints its shape onto the sand. Once confirmed, he precisely marks the mold's position. The work begins. The master pokes small holes into the sand. Gas is injected through these holes, quickly solidifying the shaping sand. A second identical template is added, creating a 3-dimensional gear mold. And that's just the first step in this intricate process. The real artistry is just getting started. Next, the master applies a layer of oil-based paint to a wooden box. He fills the box with sand, packing it tightly. Once filled, he compacts it firmly, and pokes tiny holes into it. Injecting gas, he condenses the sand into a solid block. The result? A flawless sand mold. It's a block shaped with precision tooth patterns. These blocks play a crucial role. Piece by piece, they're carefully added to form a complete mold. Under the master's expert hands, each sand block is meticulously assembled. The mold begins to take shape. Piece by piece, the prototype comes to life. The artistry of this handmade process is breathtaking. The gap between the mold and the pit needs to be carefully filled with sand. This step secures the mold underground. It prepares for the pouring process. After filling, the surface is covered with another layer of sand. Then, it's compacted and solidified to ensure stability. Next, the master places an iron frame over the mold. This frame serves a critical purpose. It forms the top cover of the mold. Bricks and a round pipe are added in specific positions to create the pouring and observation ports. The frame is then filled with sand and compacted tightly. Stones are added to ensure strength and leveling. Once the frame is fully filled, the bricks are carefully adjusted to align perfectly. Sand is added little by little around the bricks, forming a smooth and precise curvature. Without specialized tools, the master's experience truly shines. He trims and refines the structure to perfection. Small holes are then added, serving the same function as before, to allow for air escape and shaping. With this, the mold cover is complete. Only one final module remains, the central cylindrical core for the gear's axis. To install it, the master removes the gear template. After dismantling the top template, he carefully removes the bottom layer. At the center, a perfectly circular cavity is revealed. This space is prepared for the cylindrical module, which will serve as the mold for the gear's central hole. A precise hole is added to the module, filled with compact sand blocks. A small depression forms at the surface, topped with a layer of sand. Once smoothed and leveled, the gear casting mold is finally complete. Before casting begins, a prepared cover is securely placed on top. Given the immense weight of molten iron, it's essential to prevent the cover from shifting. The master adds a heavy iron block to hold it firmly, increasing stability. With everything in place, the stage is set, ready for the molten iron pour. The molten iron used for casting comes from these towering piles of scrap copper and iron. The master pushes a cart full of recycled metal into the blazing furnace. As the metals melt into liquid iron, the mold is finally ready to be filled. A single bucket of molten iron is enough to craft a ruler. This shows the immense scale of the gear. Once pouring is complete, the iron is left to cool and solidify. The workers then carefully remove the cover rod, attaching chains to designated lifting points. The massive gear, now hardened by the intense heat, is carefully hoisted out of the pit. After enduring such high temperatures, the gear is already impressively durable. Once the sand is fully cleaned off, a colossal gear emerges. But the process doesn't end here. Protruding points from the casting must be cut off, and the surface smoothed out. Further treatments, like sandblasting and polishing, refine the rough edges of the cast surface. While this process of machining a gear is labor-intensive, thankfully, it is not overly complex. After several hours of effort, the rough surfaces are trimmed away. What stands before us is a giant gear, entirely made from scrap metal. The entire production process is now complete.